Tessian platform. The most important skill that anybody working in cybersecurity needs to have is understanding that you can't be everywhere at once and taking a human layer risk approach to make sure that you're directing your efforts where they are needed most.
Okay. The most important skill that anyone working in cybersecurity needs today is the ability to balance both the business context of the organization that they're part of with the very real and extensive threats that most organizations are facing and come up with the right answer for their business.
I think the most important skill that people need in cyber these days is good interpersonal skills, because it's all about, tools are great, but for me it's all about the interaction with humans, and as you guys would say, the human layer of security. So I think for me that ability to get over the points in a human and relatable way to people and to work with boards and people from all levels, from boards all the way down to the shop floor.
The most important skill that I think is most necessary in cyber today is really understanding, how attackers are going after organizations and ultimately how we can, build defenses against them. Ultimately, understanding the offense allows you to build a good defense. So understanding what, adversaries are doing, what their tactics, techniques, and procedures are, how they're operating, the types of groups that there are out there, really helps you understand, where this industry is moving towards. And our industry is very reactive in nature because we're always trying to combat attackers. So how do we build good, solid strategies against these attackers and build a good defense? And that comes through understanding what's happening out there in the trends and trying to protect organizations against various threats that continue to emerge.
I think that the most important skill that people working in cybersecurity need today is adaptability. You're not always going to know what's going to happen. You're not even going to realize that you've been in a security incident until well after the fact. So I think having a cool head, being flexible, and being able to take things as they come is the most important skill that you can have.
The most important skill that someone in cyber needs is to be able to continuously learn. The environment's changing super fast. It's not just the tech, it's the business side is changing, how we communicate is changing, how our data is handled and what kind of data is handled is changing. And so as a security professional, you've got to have an inherent curiosity about what's going on in the environment, both technically and politically and socially. And so this constant curiosity, I think, is the key skill for anybody who's in this industry.
So I truly believe that the most important skill that anybody currently working in or looking to get into the cybersecurity industry needs today is just dogged determination and intellectual curiosity, asking a lot of questions about why and how specific things happen, or how a given technology is going to work. There's no singular system that you need to go and learn or become a master in. I have or had at one point in my life a CISSP, and it covered a pretty broad base, which actually was good. That broad base and the general information there did give me a lot of context to go and ask a lot of intellectually curious questions in systems. So I think that broad base of understanding and just an overall intellectual curiosity, being willing to ask a lot of questions, why and how.
The most important skill I would think right now in cyber is to be honestly curious. The people that we've seen that have been the best at what they've done in this industry has constantly looked for ways to get better, to never let a stone go unturned. So just understanding the technology, that's a big part of it. That's definitely a big part of it. But having that curiosity and that humility to keep on trying to make yourself better is definitely one thing that I think is important.
So from my point of view, I think the greatest skill that people need is the ability to be able to translate technical risk into business risk, and also appreciate that one size does not necessarily fit all.